Attention passionate Seattle SEAHAWKS fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave division rivals stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. This is the kind of rumor that gets Seahawks fans buzzing. If you've been keeping your eye on the NFL landscape lately, you've probably heard chatter about a potential blockbuster trade involving Myles Garrett, the Cleveland Browns' dominant pass rusher. And trust me, if this deal goes down, it could reshape the NFC West in a way we haven't seen in years. The buzz is swirling that the Browns are seriously contemplating trading Garrett to the Seahawks, and the reasons behind it make things even more intriguing. Sources like Adam Schefter and some posts on X, formerly Twitter, are suggesting that Cleveland might be willing to part ways with their premier edge rusher in exchange for a haul of draft picks. Specifically, 2 first-rounders from the 2026 and 2027 drafts, plus a promising young defensive tackle. It's a bold move, but considering Cleveland's current rebuild strategy after a rough 2025 season, it might make sense for them to shake things up. The Browns, after all, are sitting on a decent amount of cap space, around $25 million, but they've got some pressing needs like a backup QB and extensions for Chubb. They're not exactly in a position to keep their star while trying to rebuild. Now, why would the Seahawks be interested? Well, because Garrett is a game-changing talent. At 30 years old, he's still in his prime, and he's the kind of player who could elevate Seattle's defense to a whole new level. Think about it. Garrett, the pocket predator, with his relentless brute force, would be a nightmare for opposing QBs. He's accumulated 9 seasons of elite production, 104 sacks, 20 forced fumbles, a PFF rating averaging around 93, 5 Pro Bowls under his belt. In 2025 up to December 25th, he's been a dominant force with 12 sacks in just 15 games, along with 28 QB hits. His EPA per snap stands at -0.29, and his win rate is 31%. Plus, he's still got a little injury concern, a mild wrist injury in Week 5, but nothing serious enough to slow him down. When you look at his stats for 2024, it's even more impressive. 14 sacks, a PFF grade of 94, 2 and 42 pressures. He's been better than some of the league's other top pass rushers, like Max Crosby, with a pressure rate in the 29% range. Over his career, Garrett has totaled 128 tackles for loss and 18 passes defensed, making him one of the most disruptive defenders in the league. And here's the thing, Cleveland's defense has been leaking points. They're allowing about 29 points per game, which is way too high. They've got around $22 million in cap space, but with the need to extend Chubb and find a backup QB, holding on to Garrett at $25 million a year might not make the most sense for their rebuild. For the Seahawks, acquiring Garrett would be a seismic shift. Imagine a front seven that already has some solid pieces, but now with Garrett anchoring the pass rush, the entire defense could transform into a nightmare for offenses. It's not just about sacks, it's about pressure, disruption, and forcing turnovers. If Garrett joins Seattle, projections suggest he could rack up around 15 sacks next season, adding about 24% more pressure on opposing QBs compared to what we're currently seeing. His presence would elevate our entire pass rush, especially alongside guys like Uchenna Nwasu, who has 5 sacks in 2025. Garrett, with his ability to generate 1-4 sacks per game, would be a huge boost, similar to what Micah Parsons brought to the Cowboys in 2023 with over 190 pressures. That kind of pressure would make a massive difference for our defense, but it's not just about the pass rush. The run defense would see immediate improvements, dropping from around 112 yards allowed per game to just 85. Turnovers could increase by 9, and EPA per run would improve to -0.17. These numbers show how Garrett's disruption can ripple through the entire defense, making our secondary's job easier. With Reed back from injury in December, along with Love and Young returning from IR, the Seahawks' defense is shaping up to be a top 5 unit with Garrett in the fold. It would significantly ease the pressure on our secondary, which has sometimes been vulnerable. Now let's talk about the big picture, the Super Bowl. The odds for the Seahawks to win Super Bowl LX have been fluctuating, and with Garrett potentially in the mix, those odds could drop dramatically. Currently, they're around plus 4-0, but with Garrett as a true X-factor, some betting sites are seeing those odds tighten to plus 1-500. That's a massive shift, and it's not just hype. Imagine the kind of impact Garrett could have in the playoffs, disrupting offenses, creating chaos, and elevating our chances of making a deep run. His addition would be akin to what the 49ers experienced with Nick Bosa in 2019, a game-changer that turned a good team into a serious contender. The NFC overall could see a boost, with Seahawks odds improving from plus 2-0 to around plus 700. And let's not forget, the Seahawks have been building towards something special, especially with Geno Smith leading the offense and a promising young core developing on both sides of the ball. Our defense, although solid, has lacked that game-wrecking edge that Garrett could provide. Plus, with the team's recent draft history and strategic moves, it's clear that Seattle is not afraid to make bold decisions to push for a championship. If this trade happens, it could be the move that cements our place as a perennial Super Bowl contender, giving us a new level of dominance in the NFC. Of course, this is all speculation for now, but it's the kind of move that would shake up the league and send shockwaves through the NFC West. The Browns might be looking to rebuild, and Seattle could be looking to take that next leap. If Garrett becomes a Seahawk, it's not just a win for this season, it's a statement that the Seahawks are here to stay, and that they're willing to make bold moves to chase the trophy. So, Seahawks fans, imagine the possibilities. A defense led by Garrett, Reed, and Young, capable of forcing turnovers and shutting down the run. An offense that's already potent with Geno at the helm, complemented by the added pressure on defenses trying to contain our pass rush. It's the kind of scenario that makes every Seahawks supporter dream big, especially as we approach the playoff push. Now, I know some of you might be skeptical. The trade isn't confirmed and nothing is set in stone. Cleveland could decide to hold on to Garrett, especially if they believe he's still their best shot at a competitive defense. But the mere possibility has us all excited. It's the kind of move that could define a franchise's future. The NFL is unpredictable, and that's what makes it so thrilling, especially when your team is on the cusp of something great and a move like this could be the catalyst. So, as Seahawks fans, keep your eyes peeled. Stay hopeful, stay passionate. Because if this trade happens, it could be the beginning of a new era, a Seahawks era that might finally bring us back to the Super Bowl and maybe even beyond. The division will never be the same, and our team will be right there, ready to take the fight to the next level with one of the league's most feared pass rushers. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Seattle Seahawks news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Seahawks fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think Garrett would be the perfect piece to push us over the top? Or are you skeptical about the whole thing? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Seahawks. We love engaging with you and hearing all your hot takes. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Seahawks news. Whether it's rumors, trades, or game analysis, we're here to keep you in the loop and fired up for the Seahawks' journey toward greatness. Let's keep the passion alive, and as always, go Hawks.